Good afternoon and welcome to my daily Facebook Live. My name is Barry Selby. I should say Facebook Live broadcast, video, something like that. My name is Barry Selby. I'm a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. And I'm also a passionate champion for the divine feminine. So the metoo conversation has been on my radar and in my conversations a lot lately. And I'll get to the topic in a moment. But in case you haven't joined me before, these are my daily Facebook Live messages, which is a broadcast called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. There's number 266 in my ongoing talks. Yeah, a lot of these out there now. You can find these on my website, which is barryselby.com, under the video blog, and you can find all about me on my website, which is barryselby.com. You can also find these broadcasts on YouTube, on my channel, which is Barry Selby, and also on my the playlist is Messages from the Masculine. You can also find these on my business page on Facebook, because that's where I don't post much other things besides these, which is barryselby.author. I normally do that at the end, but I thought I'd do it at the beginning just to get warmed up. So today's topic is, again, number 266 in my daily Facebook Lives, and it is themed around the idea of a guide to dating during the Me Too era, because it hasn't been talked about much, but it's, in one hand, it's creating a lot of challenge. In other areas, it's creating a lot of clarity. So I'm sort of trying to put these two together and present some suggestions, some ideas for both men and women, at least that's the plan, because I don't have a script, on how we go about dating in the Me Too era, even though, frankly, this guide I'm presenting, which I'm playing off the top of my head, so it's not scripted, should apply regardless of the Me Too conversation. So let me be clear. The Me Too announcement, the Me Too wake-up call, the Me Too conversation is long past due. And I'm reflecting, I was watching a video yesterday that a friend of mine did with somebody she met at a recent event, who was one of these people who trained pickup artists. And if you don't know what those are, basically it was a style of approach to dating where a man would use these different techniques to demean and demoralize a woman to bring her down to his level. That's one of the things they did. Not the only thing, but one of the things. And that alone is enough to warrant the death penalty in my book. I mean, I'm being kind of blunt, but there's definitely a piece of it for me that really frustrates me, that men would use that sort of technique to find women, or to get a woman. Because the problem was, the belief is, or was for those men, that they weren't good enough for women, so they had to demean the women to get them down to their level. Which brings up a whole host of issues and problems. I'm just watching where to go with this, so sorry, I'm just pausing whilst I think of what I'm being pulled into direction. So I've got something to go on with that. That'll come later. Again, no script, but these things show up sometimes in a popcorn fashion of what I want to talk about. So that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about this now, because after the Me Too conversation, expression, talk that's been coming up, there's a lot of people who don't know what to do about this, how to date and relate. And it really is kind of simple. And it was simple before, it's simple now. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. You have to hold on for that for a second. Dating has never been easy for women or men, really, who really want to do it right. And I'm talking about dating being the courtship phase. If you're already in a committed relationship, that's not dating anymore. That's a relationship. There's a very distinct difference for me, hopefully for you too, that there's not the same thing. Dating is the prelude to relationship. And I personally believe, and this is perhaps my agenda, that a sexual relationship is part of the relationship, not part of dating. Some people go, dating means sleeping with somebody. Well, I don't agree. I don't believe that, because I believe once you have sex, you've already basically put yourself into a relationship. And that's excusing the conversation of one-night stands. All of this, by the way, was easy to do before Me Too became a topic, because now Me Too's come the conversation for the male point of view, for many men who are willing to be aware, because some men don't give a flying whatever, they're just going to do it anyway. It's harder to approach a woman and have a sexual desire on them without feeling like you're going to step on their toes and you get in trouble and you're going to be arrested or something. I mean, it's a worry for many men, just so you're aware, ladies, in case you're wondering. It's not something that's easy to approach. So I want to speak to that part, and also to the women who may not be sure how to hold their boundaries firm when a man approaches them. And I'll come back to that thing about the pickup artist later on. There's another piece in there, I can feel it, but it's not there yet. So, now I've set myself up an agenda. Let me present these ideas in a way that might be useful to you. So I see a shortcut. I'm not sure if I want to go down the shortcut or give you more of the piece of the puzzle. Tempting, it's so tempting. I'll get there in a moment. Let me just finish off this piece. Gentlemen, when you want to approach a woman and ask her out and be proactive and inviting for more to happen in terms of romantic interest and such like that, again, the dating part versus the relationship, the best course of action is two things. Be honest and listen. Like, whoa, such powerful stuff. Hi, Michelle, nice to have you here. But the thing is, for many people, and I'm talking about both sides of the conversation, honesty is not one of the first things that comes to mind. It's about presentation. Got to dress the right way and have the right look and the makeup and the hair and the suit and all the different things for both sides of the conversation, rather than just being truly authentic and natural. There's an agenda attached. There's requirements attached. There are doubts, fears, and worries attached. There are many people bringing their baggage into their first dates. So there's a lot of crap on the table, to be blunt. So honesty and listening are two pieces. For men, this is advice to you for watching. If you're out on dates or meeting with women, being honest and transparent so they know where you're coming from is a vital piece of this, because a lot of times women don't have a clue where you're coming from because you don't know where you're coming from. And if you know where you're coming from, they'll get it. So honesty. Second part, listening. We men, I'll include myself in this, because I have in the past, have a challenging time to actually listen and get clarity about what she wants and what she's asking for and what she's sharing about. Because we're running so many tapes in our head about what we think we should say, or what we want to say, what we want to have, and we don't know what we want to have, and we don't know what we're going to say, and we're not sure what we're going to do. I'm making this really exaggerated, but that's the thing. We're running so many tapes in our head that what she is saying doesn't even land on us. So for us men, one of the biggest skills we can have is to shut up this and listen with this. To be present to her so that she can, one, be heard and valued. Second part, value. So heard and valued. Let me do that. And thirdly, can be responded to in a way that's relevant to what it is that she's sharing. And guys, if you want to get a woman to fall in love with you, give her what she wants. Listen to what she has to say and provide her the support she wants to hear and feel. That will go a long way towards being received and being welcomed into romance and dating and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but it'll put you a lot further down than if you ignore what she's saying. This is common sense. Maybe advanced common sense, but it's common sense. But people don't always get this. So the honesty piece, let me bring that back in again, because honesty is one of these things, and it hit me very clearly, that the one biggest thing that people don't do when they're dating is be truly honest. There's a desire to impress, a desire to convince. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the pickup artist, I knew it's going to come back in again, a lot of their focus is to bring women down to the level the men thought they were at, so they felt safe enough and comfortable enough to be able to approach them. Versus, what I recommend highly, is men, remember who the F you are. Remember your truth, your value, your insight that maybe you didn't claim before. So when you meet a woman up here, you don't try to bring her down, you step up. And when you do so, first of all, your choices will improve because you won't settle for less than you deserve. Secondly, you won't belittle any women because you think that they should be demeaned to come down to your level, because that's the old, again, pickup artist style. And thirdly, you'll be in integrity because you'll actually be aligned to your true value versus what you may believe was true by somebody else, which is not true. Segue, sidebar, into the thing about baggage, because that's another piece of the conversation that I did mention earlier, and I want to bring it back in. There's a challenge that we face when we're out dating. This is true for men and women. It's universal. It's gender independent. Is that, sorry, I got something in my eye, that we drag a lot of baggage with us into relationships. You too? I trust you do, because nobody is exempt from this. Unless, one thing, and I'll get to that in a second, we bring into our prospective dates all of the memories, upsets, beliefs, programming, thoughts, and understandings about our past relationships into this one. So if you had some failed dates before, there's a certain expectation that shows up under the radar about this one failing too. If you felt like you were rejected, spurned, upset, that fear is in you in this new one. It's hard to shut it off, unless, and I'll get to that unless in a moment. I'm just planting seeds for where I want to go with this. Remember that when you're doing that, when you're dragging that fear, that baggage, that upset, that concern from the past into your new prospective date, so are they. That's 2 equal amounts of baggage, upsets, fears, worries, stuff like that as well. So wouldn't it be nice if you could actually drop that crap, that stuff, before you meet somebody new, so that when you show up with them, you're actually in the present moment, you're actually alive, real in this sense, and you can listen, as I mentioned earlier. It's harder to listen when your baggage is talking in front of you, distracting you from what's present in front of you. So how do you do that? Funny you should ask. Part of my work, and I'm just going to share some of the tips about it first, not to say that you should work with me, although if you want to find out more about my work, you can find out by reaching out to me. I'll mention that at the end. Part of what is the challenge is we're not even aware we have the baggage. So your first suggestion towards releasing that baggage and not dragging it into the next relationship is to become aware. Like, ta-da, become aware. No, not quite like that. What I mean is, reflect on your history of past dates, relationships, and romances, and notice those common threads, the common experiences, those repeated experiences that happened in the past that seem to resonate or seem to have the same flavor, same tone, same personal experience. By becoming aware of those experiences and seeing them all the same way, you have an option to change course. Because you may look back and realize that you did the same thing, because the truth about this whole thing is that any of that history that you look at and go, oh, that didn't work, that wasn't good. Well, here's one of the lessons. You were in that. You had 100% responsibility for your role in that experience. Which means, the good news, that because you had 100% responsibility for your participation in that experience, you can change going forward. You may not be able to change your history, but you certainly change your future. So your dating opportunities can be dramatically different from your past if you become aware of the past baggage you're still carrying. Some of what you need to do, perhaps, depending on what happened in the past, is to make peace with it, which could be writing letters, it could be forgiveness work, and I'm going deep into what we talk about. It could be just clarifying what doesn't work for you. But if you do become aware, it leaves you with a much clearer picture of what you do want to create, and no longer in the trap of doing it again and again and again without even becoming aware. Because most of you out there, I would guarantee for most people out there in the world, your dating experience is being run by automatic pilot from your past experiences, that baggage. And until you change it, it won't change. Kind of obvious in a way. So that's probably one of the biggest pieces of the work. And again, that comes back to honesty, because if you are aware of what happened in the past, you can be honest in your first date. Yes, you can risk this on your first date. To say to your prospective partner, in the past, this happened to me, is what I did. Not saying about, oh, I missed my past relationship, or I wish my partner had done that. Not that stuff. But you become aware to your own ownership, your own transparency, to share your own experience, saying, in the past, I messed up in my past. I'll use myself an example. If I was out with somebody new in a new possible romance, I would tell her that in 3 of my past relationships, I didn't take the lead. I stepped down, I defaulted, I became the beta male and let them run over me completely, which was great for sex for a while, but didn't last because of that. That's a risk to say that sort of stuff, and I'm doing it on camera, so that's a big risk. But by saying something like that, if that's the truth for you, you may become more vulnerable, you may risk losing them, but you may actually become closer to them because they may go, I so appreciate you telling me that. Because 1, they may be able to help you transform it. 2, they will become aware. They'll become aware if you start doing that again, because you've told them what you might do, because you did it in the past. So they'll go, excuse me, but you said you weren't going to do that anymore. They'll be your feedback mechanism. So there's plenty of blessings by being honest and transparent. That's part of my work in a lot of ways, and part of what I'm doing in my own life is being transparent, honest, and real. And I invite you, if you're out dating, to do the same thing. Be honest, transparent, and real. The Me Too conversation is big, absolutely. It's changing a lot of things. But in the dating conversation, all the things I'm talking about now, I don't want to say should have been, but I wish had been included way back when. Because this way of approaching dates is much healthier, more honest, more real. And I believe the firm foundation for what a healthy relationship is based on honesty, trust, and communication. That's three of the many things I talk about. But having those three pieces in the conversation up front on your first date, it will be healthier. You'll also more likely not step into the Me Too trap, conversation, issue. I don't know, trap's the wrong word. But if you're actually being really clean with yourself and being honest with yourself, there won't be any risk of falling into a Me Too scenario, if you want to call it that. So, honesty, trust, and communication are three pieces, and what I've already said about the baggage. Basically, I've given you 17 things, a bunch of things you can take with you when you go out on dates that may transform your experience of relationship, romance, and having what you really want. I think that covers everything. There's a lot in here, and if you're just joining me, please watch it from the beginning, because you'll need to unpack what I said, because there's so many pieces I just threw at you. Again, no script. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Certainly it's going to be inspiring, I hope, and entertaining for you. So, I think that's it. I hope there's some value in here for you. And if you do have any questions or comments, please put them below in the broadcast. I'll get to them when I sign off, because you're not putting them in right now. And I told you where you can find all my broadcasts and other places, and where you can find me on my website. If you want to find out more about my work, you can find out about me on my website, which is barryselby.com, or just message me over social media. This video will be on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So either way you can reach me, I'll get back to you. And don't be so scared. Be willing to step out and be your true, honest self. You never know what magic can happen in your love life. And that is my wish for you. That you have amazing experiences in love, in romance, in relationship. You get what you really want, and you learn how to step up to really honor and respect yourself to get what you deserve, because you're worth it. And that, I think, is going to be it. Thanks for watching my broadcast. This is my daily Facebook Live number 266 and an ongoing series of talks. You can find these on my business page on barryselby.author on Facebook, or on my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby, of course, or on my website, which is barryselby.com. And if you want any help in this area, please reach out to me. I invite you to take care of yourselves. This is an interesting time we're in now, and there's more joy, more love, more possibility here. And I invite you to please take the time to be loving of yourself before you start loving somebody else. So your homework, as always, is take care of yourself, love yourself, make yourself deserving of your own love, and then be amazed at what you attract. With that, I wish you well. Back in tomorrow with some new topic, I'm sure. And take care of yourselves. I'll see you again soon. Bye.